All right, so welcome back. So we're going to start digging into Bootstrap quite a bit more. So the way you're going to really learn Bootstrap is you're going to kind of get a feel for it with me, and then at some point you're going to just read all three of their major sections, and then you're going to use it in a project, and that's when you're going to really get it. But we're going to show you a bunch of features and kind of get you a feel for how using Bootstrap goes. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to make what's called a Navbar. So if you look at, well, I'll just bring it up here. If you look at my deployed solution, get off of this stuff, you can see that at the top it's got this black bar. This black bar has two links on it. One says add quote, one says edit. And of course in my deployed version these do something, but we just want them to show up for now. It's also got the project title over here. This is just something that they recommend that I'm fine with doing. So go ahead and visit Bootstrap. We're going to learn more about navbars. Navbars are components, and so click on the components link at the top. It'll take you to the components page. And if you click on navbar, you can kind of expand it. There's a lot of things going on with the navbar. So if you just look at one of the navbars, you can see that there's links on the page. There's things like drop downs. You can also see it's kind of gray. The one we're actually going to use is what's called an inverted navbar. So you can see that the inverted navbar looks pretty close to what we're kind of going to make, right? So there are some examples on this page that you can use, and if we wanted to, we could copy one of these as a starting example. What I'm actually going to do, though, I wanted to come here to show you this is where you learn about it, but I'm actually going to copy code from the Getting Started page. I'm going to go to the examples section. And there's a lot of great examples in here. And you should definitely, when you're learning this stuff, you should come visit the example section, and you should come steal things, right? What we're going to do is we're going to find the example that we want for a fixed navbar. So here's the one I want. I want to click on the fixed navbar example, and so I want to use this as my starting code. The easiest way to do it is just to say inspect elements, and then to navigate to where you want in the HTML. So I just went ahead and minimized it here. And you can see that there's a div in here that just is called navbar default fixed top. I'm actually just going to copy this. So I'm just going to say copy as HTML. So that's going to copy that whole node. And then I'm going to come in here, I'm just going to paste it into my body area. And so what that does is that just gives me a lot of starting code, right? So I'm just going to save that. If I then went into my local host and I did a refresh, you can see that this starting template does a lot of things for me. It's got like a drop-down list. It's got a lot of buttons. They don't really go anywhere, but you can see that there's a lot more going on here than what I really need. So what we're going to do is we're going to come simplify it some. So first we're going to take the word default, and we're going to say inverted. And if you wanted to, you could actually go refresh the page with just that change. And you can see that an inverted navbar is going to look very different. Oops, didn't mean to say inverted, I meant to say inverse. Inverse, try that again. So go refresh that guy. And so you can see now it looks like an inverse navbar. So you can see there are three options. There's default, inverse, and then putting nothing. Showed that middle one, which was an accident, but I showed it to you. And let's go in and let's clean this guy up a little bit. So the first thing I want to do is I want to change project name to say movie quotes. And then you can see that there's a pretty elaborate navbar structure going on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick one. I'm going to take, I don't know, the about one, and I'm going to change it to say add quote. And then I'm going to blow away a bunch of these other guys. So that's the left area. And then in the right area, I'm going to pick one of these guys, and I'm going to say edit. I do not want his href to actually go anywhere. I guess that's true for the about as well. I'm just going to put in a number sign. Number sign makes you stay at the same page if somebody clicks it. And what we're going to do is we're going to add JavaScript later to make them actually take actions. So if you come to your page now and you hit refresh, see we've got the things we needed. We've got the add quote, which we're going to have some JavaScript pop up a dialog. We've got an edit. We've also got the project name, which is nice. So you can see this would take you a long time to do this by yourself. So there is a lot of code, right? I give you that. But we copied it in, and you can look more at it if you wanted. but you can see that it's got this really pretty flow. It also, with using Bootstrap, does some neat things for you. So for example, if we make it smaller, so you can see that after it got smaller, it didn't show the words edit and add quote anymore. They're actually in this little drop down tray, right? And you can see that when you get for mobile, right, things like this are really useful because you just didn't have space for it. So that's one of the big reasons for using Bootstrap, is that it has this responsive UI, and it's kind of designed with this mobile first mentality. All right, that's it for the Navbar. We'll see you next time. We're going to make the add quote button actually do something. See you then.